Middleweights. Your referee is Brian Gary. Introducing first, in the blue corner to my right, wearing the black trunks and weighing 148.5 pounds, pro record, 5 wins, no defeats. He has 4 knockouts from St. Petersburg, Florida, Ronald Winky Wright. His opponent, wearing the white trunks, black trim, he weighs 149 pounds, pro record, 6 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw. He has 4 knockouts from Daytona Beach, Florida, Lorenzo Bouie. 6 rounds, middleweights.
Okay, gentlemen, I'll be in charge of the bout at all times. You listen for my command. Understand? Avoid the use of your head. No rabbit punches, kidney punches, or punches below the belt. Shake hands. Come out boxing at the belt.
Now we get a look at the tail of the tape. Winky Wright with a slight height advantage. The reach is dead even. Winky Wright, the younger of the two, at 19 years old. And a quick look at the Florida boxing rules. 10-point must system in effect. 3 knockdown rule. Also, no standing 8 count administered by the referee, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. This is round 1. We're scheduled for 6. These are junior middleweights. Jeff DeForest, along with the fight doctor Freddie Pacheco. Ronald Winky Wright, undefeated at 5-0 in the black trunks. And his opponent, Lorenzo Bouie, also a promising youngster at 25 years of age. He's wearing the white trunks with the black trim. Bit of a boxing oddity, Ferdy, as both these fighters come off a common opponent in their last fight, that being Glenn Major. We saw Winky Wright dispatch of Glenn Major in our Beach Brawl series a couple of months ago. His last fight was in March the 29th. He hurt his hand in that bout. He had a problem with his hand, and he comes back now off that effort, trying to regain his composure and his posture in the ring and start climbing the ladder in the junior middleweight ranks.
Winky's got a nice right jab going. He's a good, so far, every time we've seen him, he's been a good conditioned and disciplined fighter. He'll get that jab going out there before he tries anything else with his left hand. Good punching power.
Good quickness, and lands the first telling blow of this fight. We see Lorenzo Bouie responding to that pressure put on by Winky Wright.
Winky Wright's getting more confidence with every fight we see. That will happen when you have an undefeated 5-0 record, 4 knockouts. Gives you a little bit of confidence.
An outstanding amateur career, 52-4, a gold medalist in the 1990 Olympic Festival, national PAL champion in 1989. He's handled by Dan Birmingham, his trainer, boxes from the St. Pete Boxing Academy, and he's managed by Ed Gersh and the Ed Gersh All-Stars. This is round 1. We're scheduled for 6. A couple of quick youngsters.
Well,
junior middleweight division.
He's going to be one of the brightest prospects in Gersh's stable because he looks very good. He's as I say, the confidence carries him to that kind of strong jabbing that sets up the right jab that sets up the straight left hand. He just threw a good straight left to the body about 30 seconds ago, and you can see how he can land wherever he wants. It's just he's now picking the shots.
It seems he's improved in one area since we last saw him on the Beach Brawl series. He has kind of a squared-off posture, a la Ken Norton, sort of an awkward style. And it looks like he's gone to a little bit more of a conventional stance as we're in round 1 with about 30 seconds to go.
He goes that good left hand to the body.
Counterpunching by Winky Wright as he fights backing up on his bicycle and now comes forward.
Good defense, good jab going. So far, everything going Winky's way this first round.
Final seconds of round 1. We'll take a break along the network as Ronald Winky Wright and Lorenzo Bouie do battle. Have you ever opening round for Ronald Winky Wright as he showed great quickness at hand speed. Lorenzo Bouie in the white trunks with the black trim as we get set for round 2 now. And Lorenzo Bouie looks like he's coming out with a little fire in his belly, Ferdy.
Well, he's got to because after all, he blew that first round so much because this jab is controlling him. Look at that jab and then hook off the jab. He's got to do something to offset that jab.
Ferdy with the first round convincingly for Ronald Winky Wright. Bouie tries to fire back now. Throws some heavy punches, but Wright flurry of his own. Solid blows in there by Ronald Winky Wright. He's done his homework well for this bout as we're in the early stages of round 2, scheduled for 6.
And you saw complete armamentarium there. You saw all kind of hooks, straight shots, and uppercuts as Winky begins to open up and show us what a classy little young fighter he is. If he looks this good with just 5 fights, then you can call him a pro.
Oh, it's a slip, no knockdown. Tripped over the feet, I believe, of Winky Wright. Brian Gary properly calls it no knockdown.
It's possible that the southpaw style is beginning to bother Lorenzo Bouie. He doesn't move in the right direction. He's not throwing punches off movement. He stands in front of him. You got a left-hander, you better start moving.
And Winky Wright showing a lot of varying skills here. Good lateral movement, backs up well, comes forward with some power, throws his punches with some meaning, and that right jab particularly effective tonight.
And good up counter-punching. When he sees the attack coming, he's good at ducking the punch, and he comes back with something. Good balance. You never see him reaching for things. And he's become very patient. He's fighting his fight.
You know, he's not afraid to mix it up. He's also throwing that jab with some pop on it. And that's something you really like to see in a young fighter. Not just pawing it out there and using it as a pro, coming forward, using the jab as a weapon to set up other things. Good combination there. Just missed the second punch. As he has manhandled Lorenzo Bouie thus far. Lorenzo Bouie, not a bad fighter, coming off a couple of victories. A decision in 4 rounds over Fernando Ruperto, and he defeated Glenn Major as well, who's a guy without a lot of boxing skills, but a tremendous heart. We saw that in his matchup against Winky Wright 3 months ago. Final seconds of round 2. We're scheduled for 6. These are junior middleweights. Winky Wright controlling the action on the edge of that right jab. And we'll be back for the 3rd round of this junior middleweight matchup in just a short moment. For Winky Wright, he's put 2 rounds in his pocket via that weapon as he takes on Lorenzo Bouie. Bouie in the white trunks with the black trim came in with a record of 6-2-1, 4 by the knockout route. Winky Wright undefeated at 5-0 in his professional career, returning to the ring after a short absence due to a hand injury, and he's looking very good as he comes back on Prime Network.
Well, in the corner, Bouie is told by his trainer, Chuck Talhammy, who has been the trainer of several world champions, you got to double up on the jab. You can't just throw 1 punch and let him come back with 2 or 3. Good advice, but it's just the speed and the determination of Winky Wright is much superior to Lorenzo Bouie's at this time.
Chuck Talhammy, you mentioned, had a world champion fighting out of Miami, Claude Noel. Claude Noel was the lightweight champion of the world very briefly. He lost his title to Arturo Frias, and he made the classic Buster Douglas mistake. He wanted to throw an uppercut from about 40 feet away, and he found himself looking up at the legs.
Talhammy had an older brother who was a very big attraction in Miami and still lives there. A great deal of love and affection between the 2 brothers. I first met Chuck when he used to film everyone. Oh, nice right hand by Bouie. Just caught Winky coming in. No effect, though, but it was a good shot.
Set it up with a left hand to the body. Winky Wright fires back now and has Lorenzo Bouie in a lot of trouble. Brian Gary steps between the fighters. And we have a knockdown being counted as Lorenzo Bouie looks spaghetti right there, owning that flurry from Winky Wright. Minute 17 to go in round 3. This one is scheduled for 6. We'll see if Lorenzo Bouie can get his sea legs back.
Forming attack by Wright.
Bouie trying to scramble out of it now. He's backing up though into very tender legs. And Winky Wright comes forward. Bouie tries to tie him up. Just as Lorenzo Bouie had fired a meaningful shot, we had Winky Wright. It was a vicious exchange, and he cut Lorenzo Bouie off balance. Those being the most effective blows of this fight. Winky Wright looking very sharp through 3 rounds.
He's inflicting a lot of punishment on Lorenzo Bouie, and Bouie is slowly caving in.
Another big shot by Winky Wright. as he hammers away at Lorenzo Bouie. We're going to keep it right here between rounds.
Oh, big breath by Winky, like saying, boy, that was a lot of effort. He's getting a little tired.
Short chopping right hand by Lorenzo Bouie. Final seconds now of round 3. This one is scheduled for 6. We're going to take it to the red corner and find out what Lorenzo Bouie's handlers have to say as he rallied towards the tail end of that round and showed a little intestinal fortitude, Bertie. And listen in now as Chuck Talhammy talks to his fighter.
Where's the dog?
This is round 4. We're scheduled for 6. Winky Wright with a 10-8 round. Perhaps a little injustice there as Lorenzo Bouie never really hit the canvas. Maybe a delayed reaction from that one big shot.
He was sliding along the ropes. Looked like he was out of control. I don't think anybody can argue about it. Oh, nice combination. Fired off by Winky. Winky looked like he exhausted himself toward the end of that last round trying to...
Lorenzo Bouie coming back with a couple of good body shots. Winky Wright doing a good job of countering that.
That right jab just keeps coming in like rainwater. Doing the work, setting up the other punches, which Winky throws in combination. Very impressive.
And Winky Wright is getting off first, and he's applying pressure. With good hand speed, Lorenzo Bouie unable to find an equation to solve that right jab in this fight. And as you said, it's difficult to fight a southpaw, Freddie. And he seems to be having a little bit of trouble getting his offense into gear against this left-hander, Ronald Winky Wright.
Faith in his jab. It's good to see. You know, you have to say he's way ahead of schedule. For a guy that's 5-0, he looks like he should have 10 or 15-0. I mean, he really is as impressive at his stage. If he continues to develop and fights better and better fighters, this kid is some kind of nice prospect. Is Ronald Winky Wright.
Showing good ring generalship in this bout, has been patient against Lorenzo Bouie. Had him in a little bit of trouble in round 3 and might have been running out of gas just a little bit towards the tail end of that round, but to his credit, did not come in there and try and brawl with the guy, even though he was in a bit of trouble. Inside of a minute to go in round 4, Winky Wright undefeated at 5-0 in the black trunks from the southpaw stance, and Lorenzo Bouie putting up a good effort here, and though he's losing the rounds on the scorecards in the white trunks with the black trim.
Well, one credit, if there is such a credit, is that Lorenzo keeps coming forward to eat that jab. I don't know if that's... Ooh, nice hammering left hand by Winky, and he just got hit a hard punch.
Good clubbing shots. Lorenzo Bouie has a very sharp left hand, and he's able to get it off. He gets rocked now against the ropes by that short shot. And they exchange punches in a flurry here as we come towards the end of round 4. The pace of this fight picking up. Rocks him back now with a left-hand lead. Final seconds of round 4. We're scheduled for 6. These are junior middleweights. Ronald Winky Wright and Lorenzo Bouie, our opening match tonight on Prime Network. It's been a good one. Winky Wright's corner said, don't slug with this guy. Continue to dictate the pace of this fight with the jab, and we see that it's been a workable formula for Winky Wright as he leads handily for these scorecards. We see, Bertie, that Lorenzo Bouie has some talent. In his short career, 9 bouts as a professional, only 4 knockouts, perhaps not brilliant power, but this is the kind of fight that will help him learn, and he may come on to be a better fighter, even if he does ultimately lose this one a week later.
Well, this is the kind of fight that can get you very frustrated because he's a little bit in over his head as far as class is concerned. And no matter what he does, the other guy's got the answer. Winky's got the answer. He out-jabs you. If you come forward, he kills you. If you try to get away from him, he eats you up. So, you know, it's a little frustrating for him.
Another good trait of a young fighter when we see this in Ronald Winky Wright. No clowning around in there, no fooling around. He's handily winning the fight, but he's all business at this stage, keeping the proper distance between him and Lorenzo Bouie, and staying with his fundamentals, like that thwack to the face with the right hand. Bouie getting a little wild and trying to counter Ronald Winky Wright, who looks to be a fairly accomplished defensive fighter. Midway through round 5, scheduled for 6, junior middleweight division. Lorenzo Bouie in the white trunks with the black trim, and Winky Wright. And Winky blazing across the front. Jab getting just a little bit softer, as we may see some fatigue showing on both fighters, and rightfully so. Rounds 3 and 4, especially quick paced.
Winky doesn't change expressions. He's had the facial expression exactly the same. He's here to punch the clock, to work, and he's been working 3 minutes of every round. Just doesn't stop.
Doesn't appear to be showing any ill effects of that right hand that's been bothering him throughout his professional career. He's been using both hands in equal denominations and with equal impact. Inside the final minute of round 5, action slowed a bit in the center of the ring. Lorenzo Bouie still unable to solve the mystery that's been the right jab of Winky Wright. Wright may have rested around. Looks like he's taking a page out of Don DeLuise's book and saving the best for the end, as he coasts through round 5, albeit a winning one, for Winky Wright. We'll keep it here and see what Lorenzo Bouie's corner can come up with if they have an answer for Winky Wright, who appears to have swept the first 5 rounds. Let's listen in to Chuck Talhammy now for Greg.
You're dancing around, not throwing any punch. Not doing nothing. You throw 1, 2 punches and stop. 1, 2 and stop. 1, 2 and stop. Let's go in the punches. Let's go in the combinations together, right? When you hit them here, come up over with a hook to the head and then right to opposite. Okay? Let's go win, you know, brother. This is it. Let's go with lead. Don't like it, on jabs first, all right? Okay. That's right. Be smart now. Come on. This is the last on final road. You have to go for it now. Don't telegraph your right hand, man. You got it. Come to the body, come to the top, do everything.
Let's see a 3-punch combination here. There's one. That comes back. Still. The 3-punch combination was a lot of. There's the hook that kind of turned Bouie around. That punches as they land. It's just that this guy, Winky, just continues to land.
This is the 6th and final round of our junior middleweight opener on Prime Network tonight. The Beach Brawl series from the Tampa Hyatt Regency. Get a look at Purdy's scorecard. And it appears to be a shutout. I had a 10-8 round in there. The 3rd round, the knockout credited to Winky Wright, even though Lorenzo Bouie just kind of fell against the ropes and never really went down in the heat.
I think it was a legitimate knockdown in view of the fact that he could have gotten hurt being attacked while sliding along the ropes. But in view of the fact that that's not even any kind of a factor in this fight, Winky is dominated with superior ring generalship, greater and more effective punching power, and in general has been in total control of this fight.
That's one reason you'd like to see the standing 8 count in effect in the state of Florida. I think it always helps the fighters. Definitely a good safety factor. Gives the referee a little more control and discretion, especially in a situation like that. Winky Wright now opening up now against Lorenzo Bouie against the ropes, and the fighters come back to the center of the ring.
Bouie tries to launch an attack. When he misses, that seems to trigger off Winky's instincts, and he always gets the better of that exchange.
The accumulation of blows from Winky Wright getting to make an indelible impression on the face of Lorenzo Bouie. A little swelling from the left eye. That began in round 3.
He certainly should have much more than that because he's eaten so many jabs. I mean, this has been a one-way jab festival.
A good counter shot as Winky Wright. Hand speed appears to be slowing some. Perhaps he's tiring as we come to the late stages of this fight. But overall, a good effort, especially coming off the brief layoff he had due to the hand injury. In full command of this fight right from the opening bell. Rounds 1 and 2 particularly impressive by Ronald Winky Wright. Good opponent in there against him tonight. Round 3, he scored the knockdown, controlled the action in round 4, which was the best round of the fight. And the 5th and 6th rounds have slowed up some.
But a good learning experience, another good win, should the judges decide, as we do, that he's pitched a shutout for Winky Wright, who seems to be building a nice prospective career in professional boxing with a 6-0 record.
And he stepped up his caliber of opposition tonight, handled it rather easily, and is ready for a more important test down the road. Inside of 20 seconds now to go in round 6. This is the final round, junior middleweight matchup. Winky Wright well on his way to victory. As you can see, continues to control the action, and the jab has been the story of this fight. Winky Wright very effective combinations off that jab as well. Final seconds of round 6. It'll go to the scorecards. And it appears that Winky Wright has a shutout on the scorecards. I have it that way, and the fight doctor also totals up 60 points to 53. So with the 10-8 round, a rather handy and impressive victory for Winky Wright.
It wasn't a total loss for Lorenzo Bouie, however. He, while absorbing a lot of jabs, he learned a little bit about fighting a left-hander. I'm sure Chuck Delhammy, who's a very good teacher, will take him back to the gym now and translate that experience into a learning experience, and he will come back a little bit more knowledgeable about left-handers. I don't think he's going to face a guy that jabs better than Winky all the way up to the top. He really established himself, in my mind, with a sharp and crisp jab, which controlled his fight throughout every round.
Winky Wright in against a much more competitive opponent than his last outing against Glenn Major. And as we said, that took place on Prime Network on March the 29th. The hand injury kept him out of action until now. We're ready for the decision. Here's Mark Bureau.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges at ringside, Wilson Robinson, Darrell Brown, and Frank Skilbred, score the bout.
And to this rather unusual